You live.
All right, shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, and we're pretty much just going to go right into it. As you can see in the title, Great Destruction. Okay, and now I don't think we need to explain why there's a great destruction coming, but we're going to hit a few precepts to go into it. But what is it? Tomorrow, Halloween, and we already know, as is the custom of Rome, which we're in right now, you're going to have a lot of mothers, a lot of parents, a lot of children. And now what you're starting to notice is that a lot of these Halloween festives and all of that, they're not just like they used to be years ago. It's no more just the kids. Oh, it's just for the kids. We're going to take the kids out and trick-or-treating and all that. No. In the daytime, the children, they go trick-or-treating. And then in the nighttime, the parents come out and they go into a more demonic version, which is all demonic anyway, but they go into a more demonic version of that Halloween. They have these parties, where they're dressed up, and they don't dress up like superhero characters. They dress up in provocative, demon-like ways, So in the daytime, they're sacrificing their children without realizing it, and in the nighttime, they go and partake. And guess what? This is why do you think these devils had a day like this endorsed? Because this is a perfect opportunity, or a perfect guise, or a perfect cover to start snatching people up. Everybody's dressed in costumes. You can't recognize anybody. You got real demons walking around you and you don't even know. So your child is going trick-or-treating with their friends, and next thing you know, they just get whooped. Snatched up into a van somewhere because the van got a Halloween post on it that says candy for all, not knowing you're going to be the candy. And then you come in there, oh yeah, step right into the back of the van. They're a child, right? They hop in there, you don't see them anymore. All right? But yeah, let's get into, unless Buzz got anything to say. Cut.
All right, there's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. All right, so there's a distinction that's being made, all right, from the nation of Israel and the other nations, man. All right, it says what? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
So learn not the way of the heathen, right? Now, who are the heathen? Non-Israelites, okay? And what are the ways of the heathen? Well, when you go into the scriptures, there's certain laws. Why do you think we've been, can the brother give me, it's in Deuteronomy. It says, this shall be your wisdom, for this is your wisdom in the sight of the nations. I don't know if it's 4 or if it's 30 and 4, something like that. But that's the reason Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave us these laws, to make us holy. In essence, to sanctify us, to make us separate. So the Lord is about separating. He doesn't want us, I mean, think about it, right? Would you want, if you're eating an apple, would you want your apple to be in the same batch as filthy, unclean things? No. 4 and 6, the water. Because that's the reason we have kitchen cabinets, containers, we have all of these things. These are all separating items, right? You keep things in one area so they don't get mixed with another. Because you don't want these things mixed with another. Certain things go together, certain things don't. And the nation of Israel, we're not supposed to be mixed with these other nations. We're supposed to be separate. We're supposed to be above them, right? But because we wanted to be a part of them so much, the Lord said, okay, I'm going to scatter you among them. You want to be so close to them? You want to follow their gods? Here you go. You can be them, all right? And in essence, we stopped being Israelites and started living like heathens. But let's get that real quick. Yeah, 4 and 6. Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them.
Which are what? Keep.
I'll start 5. Okay, sorry. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should go and do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
So the Lord gave the law, statutes, and commandments in written form to Moses, right? Now, the law, statutes, and commandments were already there. They existed, but they were oral. They were passed down, okay? So when it came up to the time of Moses, when the Lord said, okay, I want to set up this constitution and established this nation as the nation of Israel, no more just the sons of God or the Hebrews, okay? He gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments written, okay? So that you can have the physical evidence there. And he gave it to Moses to teach it to the nation of Israel. And there's 613, not just 10.
Verse 6, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Woo! So the laws that the Lord gave us are our wisdom and our understanding in the sight of the nations. This is why we move the way we move. This is why we do what we do. This is why we don't do certain things. Okay? Go ahead.
Which shall Slakia, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
That's right, because this is the understanding that comes from the heavens. See, the laws were given to us for us to be able to establish a perfect order, just like what's in the heavens. All right, the Lord didn't just get up and make up these laws out of nowhere just for fun. These laws constitute a perfect society, a perfect order, all right, on earth as it is in heaven. Well, how do we set up the earth as it is in heaven? By implementing the laws, the heavenly laws that the Heavenly Father gave us. Okay? So when we do this, we will have a good society, and then the others who have an imperfect society can look at it and say, damn, these people are, they don't have these issues, they're not having trouble. Everybody is in order because there's a law, there's a way of life, there's a manner in which we conduct ourselves. And that's according to the heavenly order. Okay? So that's why we're to separate from these other nations and to follow the laws that the Heavenly Father has given us in the scriptures. And that's why there's penalties for not doing that.
There's a book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
There you go. Let all things be done decently and in order. And that's why there's a law on how to deal with all things. Hey, an example, people like to bring up the whole rape thing. They like to make it seem like the Bible says go find women and rape them. No. In essence, like the elders and brothers who were breaking down in Dallas, in the stream, what the Bible teaches you is how to deal with rape. What happens, what are you supposed to do if somebody gets raped? Today they'll call the cops, they'll do this. Well, the Bible tells you how you're supposed to handle it based on what the situation is so that you can have order in that instance. Because rape happens, okay? Men take women. People commit murder. People steal. So you have laws telling you, well, what do you do when this situation happens? First it tells you don't do certain things, it tells you don't do, but in the case that people do it, this is what you do. That's what it is. And that way, and don't the scriptures say that we may put away wickedness from Israel? Evil from Israel? That's what the laws are for. So if you can put away evil, what do you maintain? Good. Righteousness. Order. Perfection. Because the laws are perfect, and if we're able to keep them perfectly, then we'll be perfect. But we need to be made perfect to keep the laws perfectly. That's why the Lord's going to make that other covenant with us.
So that's why it is the job of the prophets, or in other words, the judges, all right, to keep emphasizing the importance of keeping that order. Okay? There's a book of Jeremiah chapter 11. I'm going to start off at verse 1. It says, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord Yahweh, saying, hear ye the words of this covenant, and speak unto the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and say thou unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant.
Cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant. So when did we make the covenant? Back in the wilderness, by blood and sacrifice unto the Lord, which was the deal, right?
It says, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt.
Which the Lord actually, like the vision he gave, see, what shows you the Most High decides what he wants to do. So like the vision he gave Abraham, it tells you in the book of Exodus, on the exact day that he said would finish the time that we would spend as slaves in Egypt, he will bring us out. That's when he did.
Continuing, it says, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt from the iron furnace, saying, obey my voice and do them, according to all which I command you, so shall ye be my people, and I will be your power.
And there you got Deuteronomy 28th chapter. All right?
No, that's
Okay. Yes. Before we get that, Amos. Yeah, let's get Amos. And we'll hop on there. See, and that's the thing. That it shows you the Most High, he deals with the spirit. That's why he's called the Father of Spirits. He doesn't discriminate according to the flesh. Because Jeremiah was a boy, which means he was under the age of 12. So he could have been 9, he could have been 10, he could have been 11. All right? But he was a boy. Now you may say, damn, that's such a young age. But understand that in the ancient world, we matured at an earlier age. Today, they slow down your mental ability, your mental growth, physically and mentally, through the way they teach you in school. You know, if you wonder why the hell do they wait 2 grades later you're gonna learn this? You know, they treat you like you a kid and you a grown ass individual. You know, and then you got it when you get to what 21, when you get to 18, that's when you can know. It's much more before that. Why do you think these girls be losing their virginities in high school? 14, 15, 13, they be losing it. You know, they don't wait till they're adults. If you go around telling people you're a 22-year-old virgin, they're gonna look at you like, oh shit. You know, they might laugh at you if you're a woman. You know, because they're like, the norm according to people is, well, hey, I mean, you can ask them, oh, well, I was lost it when I was over here, or da-da-da. All right, now Jeremiah was a boy, but did that stop the Lord? He told him, oh Lord, I'm just a boy. He said, look, make your forehead hard against theirs. All right, and go and teach the word that I have taught you, the spirit that I put on you to be a prophet. Because whether you're a boy or you're a man, if you're a prophet, you're a prophet. You know, and that's based on the spirit. Let's get Amos in the... Oh, you got it now? Okay, good.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 4. It says, Then the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
There you go.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
There you go. So the Lord said, before what? Before you were born, I knew thee. So now, how did the Lord know Jeremiah before he was born? Which this was a topic that was up a couple months ago, but because Jeremiah was in the spirit world. All right, he had a spirit, and the Lord knew the spirit of Jeremiah, and he sent that spirit down the same way he told John on the in Revelation the 10th chapter that you must prophesy again before many peoples and countries and kindreds and so on and so forth. The same way he told Daniel in Daniel the 12th chapter that what? He would go thy way, and you're gonna come back in the last days in your lot. So when Daniel died and went to the spirit world, guess what? When it was time for him to come back again, he was sent back, and his spirit was that of a prophet. So it doesn't matter if he was light skinned or dark skinned, you know. If his pops died when he was young, he was still gonna grow up to have that same spirit of Daniel as a prophet. All right, because the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So the Lord knows us before we're born, because people think that before you're born you don't exist. That's a lie. You do exist. You exist in the spirit world. Paul was teaching that Yahushua was alive. Now, that was after Yahushua had risen to the spirit world. So how was Yahushua alive? Because he's in the spirit world. Okay? So when you die, you still exist. You don't just poof. You cease to exist because you die. When you die, your spirit just leaves your flesh. And then the scripture said that the Lord sanctified him. Meaning, when he was born, the Lord said, look, your job, I've separated you. You're not going to be ordinary like everybody else. And when you get to a certain age where I want to put that spirit upon you, whatever sanctity that I put inside you, I'm going to activate it. So you are made different, but you may try to act like everybody else in the meantime, but when I need you, I'm going to activate that difference within you.
And that's primarily for all of the elect. All right, because you're not born knowing who you are. You know, you do realize that you're just different. You know, you look at things differently, you think differently. Things that the world doesn't really interest you. You know, you think of consequences when you do certain things. You know, know, when you partake in wickedness, you know, your conscience bothers you. You see? And you're like, damn, Father, like, you know, but then when you wake up to the truth, then you understand it. Like, oh, damn, that's why this, oh, it makes sense why when I was doing this, this happened. You know?
Demons messing with you.
Exactly. You know, yeah, demons, you know, when we were younger, remember? You know, so it's like it's kind of like the Lord already prepared the way for you. You know, when you wake up, you get that calling, that awakening, then everything makes sense. It all falls in line perfectly, man. You know, because you are in this world, but not of this world, man. All right?
All right. Let's get Amos and then we'll jump into it.
Amos, oh, sorry.
Now I was going to say, because this shows it's all spiritual. You know? You got it.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that Yahweh had spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right, so of all the families of the earth, you have 18 nations, which go back to people, okay? But of all the families of the earth, that's these different nations. And the Lord said, only us has he known of all of them, which is what? 2nd Ezra's, the 6th chapter, and around the 54th verse on down. Ezra talks about everybody comes from Adam, even those that the Lord has chosen. And as for the others, he said, thou was liking them unto spittle, or as a drop that falleth from a bucket. Okay? So the Lord is only concerned with the nation of Israel. That's why we make a big deal when Israel gets into Halloween. Because you're not supposed to be celebrating Halloween. You ain't got no business doing that. You know? Where in the scriptures where was anybody celebrating Halloween? You know, righteously according to the Lord, or according to the scriptures. You know, you think around this time Yahweh Shai would put on a costume, you know, look at me, he's going to dress like Caesar, walking around with a staff, you know, and then John is dressed like an ass and he's walking around on all four. No, all right, they weren't doing that because that wasn't our custom. It existed, you know, because Halloween actually you see a lot of the things they have now are watered down versions to appeal to the eyes of people, but these things are actual rituals that go back. Yoga is a ritual. You know, that prepares your vessel to be inhabited by spirit. That's why they go into those different poses and stuff. And you like, oh, well, yeah, Pilates and yoga, and it's going to make you flexible. What the hell are you talking about? You know, you got men stretching in ways that they shouldn't be stretching in. All right? Witches actually use that to prepare their bodies. It's rituals. You know, but America tells you, no, it's yoga. Put some yoga pants on and go and do that. You know?
Concept of Halloween is literally a celebration of the dead. All right, witches actually take that day very seriously, man. You see, that's why they promote it in the news, in the media. You know, oh, Halloween is coming. Halloween is one of the third most highest satanic holy days for these elites, man. All right, you have Easter, you have Halloween, and you have so-called Christmas. These three so-called holidays are very important and very high level for these devils, man. All right, and I believe the 1st of November is the Mexicans, so-called Mexicans. They celebrate what's that? Día de la Muerte, which is the Day of the Dead. All right, so it's a celebration of the dead. All right, and we are, scriptures say, suffer not a witch to live.
Right.
And if you see the theme of Halloween, is all about witches, man.
Yep.
Witches, warlocks.
Right.
All right, especially this year, it's been the most satanic I've ever seen. You went from pumpkins to now you're seeing skeletons and graveyards, you know? You got, you know, ghosts, all kinds of different shit that's going on, man. You got the women being super promiscuous this year. They're going to Halloween parties. Females got their titties out, their ass out, all kinds of madness going on. Do you know what's going on right now in the satanic spiritual realm?
Samhain. It's called Samhain, where Halloween derived from. Quick article about it. It says Samhain, they were appeased with offerings of food and drink to ensure the people and the livestock survived the winter. The souls of dead kin were also thought to revisit their homes, seeking hospitality, and a place was set at the table for them during Samhain meals.
Look at that. And then it's a ritual. And then, exactly. And then when you go into the so-called Christian faith, you know, the Catholics, they celebrate that shit too. They call it All Hallows Eve. All right, so it's a whole satanic shit. They got the witch covens, all right? They bake cakes, All that shit goes back to what's that? Semiramis,
Yep.
Tammuz, and all these different things. That's all Satanism, man. That's all witchcraft. All right, but they paint it like it's a fancy little thing. Oh, the children get candy and all that. You know?
Done.
Earlier, I read on the breaking news app, it said the CDC was urging Americans to go out and trick or treat on Halloween.
So what?
He said the CDC was urging Americans to go trick-or-treating on Halloween.
Now, since when did the CDC get to come out and say things like that? That's why Trump said it last year. He said, what? A spell has been cast on in how many countries, he said? Pretty much the whole world, man. There's a whole...
Isaiah, the covering cast over...
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And you could see it. We're in a time of darkness, man. I had a dream last night that it was like I was teleported into this. It was an island. I was telling my Eve this morning. It was like an island, and it was just a whole bunch of dead bodies, man. And I was walking with this man, and he was just going around. It was like piles of dead bodies. It was like rows of them, and then you had them laying like this, and stomach belly up, and they were stacked up on top of each other. And he had a machete. And I was walking with him, and I was like, so what the hell is that? It smelled like ass, man. I was like, damn, this smells really bad. And he was like, yeah, these are all the people we gotta take out. And then he was just going around and he was just chopping their heads off. And it was easy for him. I was like, yo, man, like, what is all this? I saw the people who are actually still alive, you know? So it was basically, I was like, how come you said, I told him, I was like, how come you said that this is all dead people, but I see somebody who's alive? He said, yeah, they're just dead. They're about to die soon, though. He said, what they're doing is that he said they're transporting them from different countries when you go to the hospital. He said it. He said, you know, those people in the hospital that they know they're not gonna make it, they just send them to us over here. And he had ankle bones, like he had a necklace out of bones. His ankles was filled with bones, and he had a machete in his hand. You just chop your heads off, and you push it over, you chop it. Like it was easy for him, man. You know. And he was explaining to me. He was like, look, this is, and I was like, damn. Like I felt weird. I was like walking through it, you know. And it was just a big island, just filled with dead bodies, man. And he was like, oh, these are the ones that we feel like will be good enough. We harvest their organs. The rest that are wasted, you know, all this messed up bodies, we just chop their heads off and then we incinerate it. You know, so when we were walking through it, it was like ashes. You know, he said we burn the bodies and then they bring new ones and then we pile them up, chop the heads off, and then burn them up again. You know? So I was like, when I woke up, you know, I prayed and I was like, Father, what does this mean? And the only answer I got from him was mass death is coming. Mass death is coming, man. You know, and it's gonna...
The sword is sharpened.
It's furbished.
Yep.
Yep. So mass death is coming, man. You know, they talk about famines, all right, and now they talk about the clock is running out. I saw the brother, GMS upon precepts, did a video, and it says Time Magazine was going into the title. It says the last call. And when you see it, it's just the elites. You got the Queen of England, you got Joe Biden, and a few other so-called kings of the earth that are just there. It's basically saying, yo, this is our last call. We gotta make news, man. Right. And lately the Queen has been they've been bringing on news that she's been told, yo, you gotta quiet down, bro. You're moving too much. Yeah. So she might drop dead very soon. You know, and if she doesn't drop dead, guess what? They gotta feed her some souls. You know, that witch, man, they gotta feed her some souls, man. So mass death is coming. You could feel it in the air, man. All right, and you people are just playing games. Go ahead.
What precept you had?
Oh no, I had something to say. When you do the trick or treating thing, it's called souling.
Souling.
Going for souls.
Oh, well, we're gonna get into that when we hit Revelation. You know, we talked about the souls event. Yeah, that's right.
And quick precept here is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer.
So, go ahead.
For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations of the Lord, thy power that does drive them out from before thee.
There you go. So it's in there. So you're not supposed to be doing that. But what? Jake said, no, it's fine. It's for the kids. Okay. But when the Lord said judgment comes, the judgment is going to be for the kids, for the grown-ups, for the women, for everybody. You know? So, I mean, then you take that up with Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. See, people look at us like we're a nuisance. You know? You guys are always talking about something. Well, when the Lord comes, he ain't going to talk. See? He ain't going to talk. It's just going to be straight, raw action.
There's a book of Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So right now what we're doing is we're sighing and crying for the abominations that are being done in the midst of us. For all the wickedness that's going on, like Lot was vexed by the filthy conversation, which means the filthy lifestyle of those that were about him. Bestiality, sodomites, you know, transformers, you know, all manner of wickedness going on. And that's why this is the land of the wicked. Okay? And so we're sighing and crying for these abominations. And the Lord said what? Set a mark upon their foreheads. Which means, that the Hebrew word for mark is tawa, which is exempt from judgment. So those men are going to be exempt from the judgment that's going to come. The same way Lot was exempted from the judgment that came to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Hey, and when we, like the brother mentioned, that the people of the world look at us as a nuisance. Look, man, honestly, we do this so your blood is not on our hands. All right, we got to keep on giving the warning, like it tells you in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. All right, the 17th verse on down. Now we got to give you that warning, so you have no excuse when the Lord starts bringing judgment. Right. You're gonna be put in remembrance. You're gonna be hearing the words. Damn, they did say that. Damn, the Bible. Damn, I knew. But people, when they're wicked, hey, there's a quote by Plato. He said, one is most hated. All right, the one who speaks the truth is most hated roughly paraphrasing, in a place where there is no truth. Okay, when the city is, when you start seeing people who are hated for speaking the truth, you know that civilization is done. Done. All right, they're finished. They're through. Done. And that's what's happening here in America and around the world. Right. All right, they're demonizing those who stand up for righteousness. All right, you got children in the schools now. You got them showing them satanic shit. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I seen some shit where it's like they won a battle that children should be allowed to engage and partake in Satanism because it's a form of religion. So you should have freedom of religion. You see what I'm saying? Only in America would you see some shit like that, man. Yep. All right, and in reality, as the scripture says, they're supposed to be put to death. All right, that's why the Lord said he's going to destroy the sinners thereof out of it, man. You have to go. All right, and it's because of your lifestyle, your choices that you made. All right, just like how they say, thank you for choosing to get Vanessa. Yeah, thank you for choosing wickedness, because you're making a pact with Esau, man, the devil. All right, when you sell your soul to the devil, guess what happens? You get destroyed. Okay. So continuing, Ezekiel 9 verse 5, it says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
Which means to kill.
It says, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
There you go. So those angels have been given a commandment not to have mercy. All right? Not to spare. So your tears and all of that's not going to save you. You know, a lot of people, see, what happens is people act tough, right? It's all tough guy. And when they realize that's not working, then they resort to pleading, crying, begging, begging for their life. Women do that a lot. But that doesn't work on the angels. The scriptures say that in their fury they lay on sore strokes, and they do that to appease the wrath of him that made them. Who's up?
I had a dream. I just wanted to speak about it. Basically, what I was going into, how the angels are gonna come and praising is not gonna help you because in my dream I'm with my brother. We go out the back of the house. And we could see over the hill, kind of like right here. We could see over everything. And it was a regular day. And then a portal was above the sky. And everything was going into it. And I'm saying, I grabbed my brother. I'm saying, yo, it's here. Everything is here. It's coming. And then I remember walking out the front door with my brother. And an angel came down. He fell down, huge, like maybe 8 feet, 10 feet tall. And he had gold armor. Everything was gold. And he had a gold mask, so I couldn't see his face. And he's just looking at everyone. And everyone's like scared. They don't know what's going on. He looks at me. He walks up to me. He doesn't say anything. And I'm screaming, Yahweh, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh, Shai. I'm screaming. And he takes out his sword. And he slashes me twice. So then I'm confused now. I don't know why he's attacking me. But then he turns around. And there's more angels coming down. and they just start killing people, murdering everyone in the streets. People are screaming, running around, and I grabbed my brother. I'm like, yo, we got to get out of here. I'm running, and I realized that there was chariots coming as well in the sky, and it's just, I don't really remember everything else after that, but I just know that what you brothers are saying is true, because it's like in that time, it's not about whatever's going on now. It's going to be about what they feel is just in that time. They're gonna they here to put out a mission. So when they get here, it's just off staring, and they don't speak nothing. It's just whatever they have to do.
When he slashed you, did you die? Did you get hurt?
I didn't die. I got hurt though, and I realized that maybe it was a warning. I don't know what it meant in the time, but
Hey, well, hey, at least you ain't die. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm
So, and then like you said, they were killing everybody else. You know, so I mean, in essence, you could go through Jacob's trouble, and you can come out of Jacob's trouble unscathed, or you could come out through hella shit. You know, but nevertheless, with bumps and bruises. Because sometimes the Lord will do that. Sometimes the Lord will say, look, for you, I want you to go through such and such. You know, like John, for example. You know, he didn't get beheaded like James, you know, or like crucified like Peter, or beheaded like Paul, you know. But nevertheless, certain people, the Lord might say, I want you to glorify me through your body. You're not going to be destroyed. You're going to make it, but I want you to make it this way, you know. Precept?
Yeah, I have a precept. 1 Peter 4:18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
There you go. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? And an example is going to be when those chariots, see, when Yahushua comes with the chariots, it's going to be dramatic. You gotta actually visualize it. It's going to be the biggest event in all of history. When you see a giant chariot come and many chariots come out of it, and laser beams are coming down, and missiles are flying and hitting, and you're seeing missiles flying, you're seeing you seeing fires in other parts, you feeling the earth shaking, and just as one comes and you can see this shit is about to hit your ass, you're like, oh Lord, and then just in an instant, just like that, like Paul said, in the twinkling of an eye, you get beamed up if you're of the elect. And you're gonna have that you're gonna hear your heart, you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna not even know what to feel, because it's gonna be so much adrenaline and so much at once. You know, like, oh shit, like I thought I was done, like I thought that fire touched me. You know, but then it didn't, and you can see it burning and destroying things. Because it's gonna be destructive, it's gonna be loud, okay, it's gonna be hot. You're gonna hear people screaming, cars honking, things getting burned, glasses breaking, you know, alarms going off. So it's gonna be a big ass deal. And for you to get beamed up in that time, man, that's gonna be dramatic.
Hey, so there's certain movies that you watch, and even as an audience, you be in the theater or watching on your TV or your phone or whatever, and the scene is so epic, you could place yourself in there and be like, damn, that explosion was crazy. Like, for example, the Titanic. Even though there wasn't no explosions, but just thinking about the Titanic, how do you survive that? You know what I'm saying? Like, in the middle of the ocean, how the hell, where are you going? If you're not in those little boats that got to escape, where do you go? You drowning. You ain't Jack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
I mean,
in
you
Rose.
drowned too.
Yeah, you in Rose, you ain't Jack. You see? But it showed you that the elect, when Babylon is going down, the Titanic is sinking, guess what? Those who are part of the elect get beamed up, meaning on those little boats, they got to be delivered. You know, you had that man who sneaked in there. You know, this time you're not going to be able to sneak on the chariot, man. You know? But there's certain instances, certain movies, they take this from the scriptures.
Yep.
That's why it's so epic. You know, they show you the explosion, the blowing up of things, the buildings are breaking. Imagine yourself in that.
Terminator 2.
Yeah, exactly. The fire coming, you know, think about that. If I was in that scene, in that situation, how do I escape that?
Exactly.
And the answer is you don't. So that's what we're telling you. But the movie becomes the reality, because you're watching a movie within your real life being a movie of the Most High. It's called the scriptures for a reason. Okay? We're living out a script that's been written thousands of years ago. And what's been written has been enacted over and over again by these many directors in Hollywood, showing you, damn, this stuff is powerful. This stuff is real. Okay? Now wait for this stuff to start happening in real life. Now what? It's not a movie no more. You're in the movie itself. Now what?
Right, you are the movie.
You are the movie.
Because the Most High is the director, you the actor, and guess what? It's affecting your life. And guess what? And it's spiritual how the Most High wrote it, because this ain't about, oh, I gotta study my lines or know my script. No, you're going, whatever you naturally do, thinking you're doing it of your own accord, you're really just following the script. So everybody's really a perfect actor. You know, you can't make no errors, because everything you do, you had to do it. That's why you did it.
Hey, that's isn't that Shakespearean quote? He said the whole world is a stage, and people are pretty much all actors.
Yep.
You know, people all have different faces, man. You know, people are not themselves when they're in public compared to when they're alone. Maybe except for us, you know, the men of the Lord. How you see us is how we are every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I gotta continue with Ezekiel. The point. All right. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 6. It says, and this is the key right here. It says, slay utterly old and young.
When it says utterly, it means completely. Done. 100%.
Slay utterly old and young.
So that's old women, that's old men, that's little children, that's infants, that's babies.
Both maids and little children.
So women, children, and then it's going to tell you even more, because you got maids, which are like young women, and then you got,
It says children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
because they did this back then, and guess what? The Lord's going to give the order to do it again. Now, of all those different types of people mentioned, who was the most important? The men of the Lord. It wasn't the women. You know, the Lord doesn't look at, I'm valuing you based off what you look like. You got a nice body, shit. He made that.
He made it.
You know what I'm saying? What the hell he gonna look at you like? That's like if you're looking at your daughter like, damn, man, she all fine. Like, no, man. You know why fathers are able to treat their daughters the way they are? Because they don't look at them like they're their woman. You know, you know, I mean, you came from my sack. So I'm not going, if you go off, I'm going to discipline your ass. As opposed to some dude in the world who's going to be a simp because he's looking at you like, damn, man, she fine and all that. Give her a pardon. The Most High don't even look at the flesh, man. He's looking at the spirit. So when judgment comes down, the Lord doesn't bat an eye. You know, matter of fact, he's up on his seat looking and he's getting satisfied. You know, yeah, get that nigga right there. Ooh, that nigga? Shit, man, this nigga been wicked from day one since I made him. I've been waiting for this day. Yo, put that up. Let me see that, man. You know, now run it back and do it again slowly. You know, yeah, pull the eyeballs out. Oh, yeah. You see that? You see that? Yeah, look at that shit, you fucking nigga. And then he's gonna start calling, oh, Lord, how about you? Man, smack that shit out here, man. Get his ass, man, because the Most High, the scriptures, look, man, the scriptures say that the Lord is going to destroy until his wrath is appeased. Meaning, people are going to get hurt and die until the Most High feels satisfied. You know? Nah, that's not enough. Get him. You know, that's his wife. Get her too. You know what I'm saying? That's a daughter. Get her ass too. That's a 2-year-old son. All right, people.
Hey, real quick before you get your point, look at Job. Job is known as a righteous man. Look what the Lord put him through, man. He put him through a whole lot of hell. All right, so imagine that. Imagine those who don't have faith. That's why in the book of Revelation it talks about those who are unbelieving, those who are unfaithful. They're all gonna die in their unfaithfulness, man, in their unbelief.
Right.
All right, that's why we don't worry. Hey, Scripture says it, I believe, 2nd Ezra, where it says, don't be worried about how the wicked, the wicked are going to be punished, but rather how the righteous are going to be saved.
That's right.
You know, roughly paraphrasing. But yeah, we're not worried about how people are going to be destroyed because we know the Lord has infinite ways of destruction. He's a father. He's the man of war. A man of war. You can't go to war against a man of war, man. That's one of his titles.
Yeah.
Yahweh is a man of war.
He's a God of war.
He's
the real God of war.
God, exactly. You know, what was Yahweh Sabaoth? Okay,
Lord of armies, yeah.
Lord of armies, man. So you can't be rebellious against a man of war. He loves to go to fight, to war. He loves that. Don't you read the Old Testament? What do you think Israel was doing to these other nations upon the command of the Most High?
Yep.
He set commands out, says, yeah, go over there to Jericho, go around that shit 7 times, and we're gonna raise hell on these motherfuckers, man.
To kill them, kill their wives, kill their children, burn the cities, you know, destroy it all, and don't take
leave nothing
anything
back. Yep, don't leave nothing back. The Lord is about that, man. And this was ancient times. So what do you think he's gonna do to America? Why do you think it's gonna be destroyed completely? His armies, his military, the angels are coming down to do some work.
And those missiles too, because the scriptures say that his spirit is going to be in the fire to intensify it. And he's going to guide those missiles. You want to talk about guided missiles? The Lord's going to be in there, and he's going to be burning. So you're actually going to feel the wrath of the Lord through the fire. That's why he's going to bring people back and burn their ass, you know? And you're going to stand there feeling it, and the Lord is going, you know? Get them fucking niggas, man. Because sometimes we get upset. And if we get upset, how much more angry do you think the Lord is? That's why the angels be trembling up there, because they're like, shit, you know? They're like, oh, this nigga going, oh my gosh. Next thing you know, it just gets mad hot up, you know? Hey, man, because that's like when you have like a big guy, right? You got a group of you guys hanging out, and there's this, you know, there's a big guy in the group, and like I body Allah, right? And he's always chill, and then something goes and ticks him off. You like, damn, man, you just, the one person you want to tick him off, the Most High. See, if somebody, like, if I get mad, you know what I'm saying, I get mad, you know, I'm short, I'm small, right? But you got somebody mad, you got the Most High mad, what does that look like? Well, everybody's about to find out.
I think I've done that.
Who's up?
You was talking about fire, and
Yeah.
Fire also is a meaning. The meaning and symbolization is rebirth and purification. So it's just I just wanted to bring that out. That it's just funny that that's the process that the Lord is going to use on us to purify this everything and rebirth Israel.
Revelation 21, a new heaven and a new earth. It's going to be by fire. And the word there, new in the Greek is kainos, which is refreshed. You had something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and the scriptures say that the Lord is long suffering too.
Yeah, he's been waiting for this.
He gonna get you
All
right.
these years, all these empires, and now it all comes down to this. And guess what? Babylon was able to take all the ancient wicked shit that was happening that pissed off the Lord. They brought it all the way here, and then they made it even more. That's why I believe in 2nd Ezra it talks about their wickedness is fulfilled. It's reached to the heavens, man.
Yep, Revelation 18.
Revelation
too.
18. It's reached to the heavens, so the Lord is going to destroy this place, man.
That's it?
All right.
Isaiah 13 and 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger.
And when you look up that word cruel, and you actually look it up and read synonyms, it says without mercy. I mean, cruel is like a word that you use for something so brutal, so painful, so unrelenting that you use the word cruel. And that's what it says the day of the Lord is going to be like, right? Cruel with what? With wrath and fierce anger.
The word cruel in the online etymology dictionary, it says stern, of suffering death. It says attending by much distress or attended by much distress. It says inclined or willing to make another suffer.
Inclined or willing to make another suffer. So the Most High is inclined and willing to make the inhabitants. Why do you think he says that the proud is going to cease from the land? In essence, he's like, oh, don't worry. I got something for these niggas. You know, pride? No. That shit ain't going to be found nowhere. Because he's going to make you suffer, man. You know what? These people don't know what suffering is, man. People don't know what suffering is. They don't know what it's like to go without eating. They don't know what it's like to watch family members get killed in front of them. They don't know what it's like to... you people don't know what suffering is, man. That's why they move the way they do. And you about to find out the hard way, man, because this world, especially Americans, man, they've never really experienced suffering. They're not built for that. They don't know what suffering is. And they're going to learn, man. And it's not going to stop.
Got some more. It says rude, unfeeling, cruel, hard-hearted.
Unfeeling. God, the Most High have no mercy? Nah, he's not going to be feeling in that time. The only thing he's going to be feeling... Huh?
Those are mercy are closed.
There you go. So there is no such... mercy ain't going to exist for anybody that's not going to be elect in Jacob's trouble. It's not going to exist. It's not going to be a thing. Okay? It's just going to be destruction, pain.
Some more. It says barbarous, brutal, fell, roughshod, savage, vicious.
Vicious. And that's how the judgments are going to come. Viciously. You know? Yeah, you know, there's certain judgments you see. You may watch a video. You be like, damn, yo. Yeah, there was a video of a dude with a pole through his eye coming out the back of his head. And he was still alive. You know? There was a video of a dude, say he got a fence like this, but it was on like a road, but it don't look like this per se, but it's like those you know, those bars. And my man's was in the middle. And the thing was through him, through here, coming out here, and he was in the middle. He impaled, and you looking at it like, wait, how did you end up there? Did you go forward? Like, how did you end up right there? And he's just in there, and he's alive. Like, you know, you got a dude whose face is half blown off. You know, these are vicious judgments, man. That Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is gonna bring.
You ever watch a UFC fight and somebody gets cold, knocked out, and their body's limp, and the niggas just still wailing on them? Imagine that with like fire though, and you just like, it's over, bro. That's it. And nobody's gonna be stopping the Lord. Yo, bro, Father,
no referees.
nah, cause you're dead. Your body's laying there limp, and just keep beating, just like until he's tired. It's like, nah, I'm not. And then they try to, yo, bro, enough, man. He's like, get the fuck off me, bro. Pop, pop. If you touch me again, you done, nigga. You be next. Pop, pop, pop. You know, no one's gonna feel bad for you, man. It's gonna be so scary. They'll be like, everybody gonna stop and be like, yo, he killed him. Yo, he's still, yo, his head is.
Yeah, nobody gonna stop.
You're done.
Yeah, like you see some videos where the dude's leg gets broken from the shin, snapped that way, you know, or their elbow just back in, you know, snapped out, you know, and they yelling. You think they yelling because it's fun? That shit hurts, man. Cause now see, if that happens right now, ambulance is gonna rush and take him to the hospital, right? Give him some the things that numb you so you don't feel the pain. In real life, in Jacob's trouble, when that shit happens to you, you're gonna lay right there and die. Ain't no ambulance coming for you. Your leg is broken.
It's happening right now. The love of many is waxing colder and colder, man. I seen a video. I don't know what country it is. I think it was in Southern America or something. And there was this man, bro. It was so sad, man. The man was dying, and the family was right there in front of the hospital, and the hospital was empty. And the man is laid on the floor, and they're trying to resuscitate this man, and they're banging on the door. Can you open the door so this man can get some attention, man? My father's dying. He had the wife coming over, you know, try to wake him up. The son is crying. Oh, papa, you know. And I'm watching, and the nurses are just like standing there, like going back and forth. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody gonna help this man? So what the hell is really going on, man? So soon you're gonna have dead bodies just laying in the streets, and nobody's gonna pay no mind because it's gonna be the norm. It's too many dead bodies compared to those who are gonna be alive. It's like, yo, every corner I turn, there's dead bodies, bro. I can't help you and leave the other. So I'm just gonna leave you and them. I gotta take care of myself. You know? I got you, but let's finish this and then
with both behold, this is Isaiah 9. Behold, Isaiah 13 verse 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate.
So, but wait, why is he angry? That's the question you should be asking. Why is the Most High angry? You know? But this is a God-fearing country, right? In God we trust. This place got a lot of Christians, right? Freedom of religion, so everybody can serve the Most High how they want. So why is he angry? And what is he going to do?
He's going to lay the land desolate.
And how's he going to do that? With the nuclear missiles and the lasers from the chariots. Go ahead.
And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
But I thought they were going to be no sinners. I thought Yahushua came to do away with all that. So everybody's going to be saved. So if everybody's going to be saved, who's going to be the sinners that are going to be destroyed?
All right, jumping down to verse 11. It says, and I will punish the world for their evil.
Bro, he's going to punish the world for their evil. Go ahead.
And the wicked for their iniquity.
And the wicked for their iniquity. So yes, you are. The reason he's upset is because you have a whole bunch of wickedness, so much so that it's reached up onto the heavens. And the Lord is going to punish you according to your iniquity. Wickedness is the norm. So judgment is going to be the norm. It's a cause and effect.
And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease.
Yeah, because they're proud in they're proud in their wickedness. They go around thinking that they can't be touched. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of men is fully set in them to do evil. So they think that, well, when I committed adultery, nothing happened. You know, nature turned me into a sodomite, so I'm okay. I parade down in the streets and nothing happens to me. There's laws protecting my ass. So they think that it's okay to do that. And so they're proud and arrogant in it. And if you even, they can have an opinion, but when you have yours, everybody ridicules you. You know, cancel culture pops up. So the Most High is going to destroy it all, man. He's going to destroy it all. There's more?
Yeah, just one more. And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
So he's going to lay it low. Matter of fact, he's going to lay it desolate. And it's, hey, that's why it says in Isaiah 4:1 that what? Matter of fact, first in Micah 7 and 9 or 7 and 9. 7 and 9, it talks about that she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her. So when that shame covers her, that pride disappears. When she's being trodden down like the mire of the street, guess what? She's not gonna be proud. When those martial law troops come and they don't care what you look like and they're doing whatever they want to you, you're not gonna be proud. And that's why women are gonna be looking for men. They're gonna be looking for protection. See, now they look for men, they're lonely, they want to have somebody, they want to have fun. In that time, they're going to be looking for men out of necessity. They want to live. They need some protection. They need some guidance, some direction. Because see, women think they can lead now. But when they actually put to the test in Jacob's trouble, they're going to realize, no, I can't do this shit. You know, they can't do it. You have some women that even when it comes to giving birth, they say, if my man is not here, I can't do it. You know, when they're actually put in a position where they have to rise to the occasion, they can't rise to the occasion. Most times they can't.
Yeah, that's why the scripture says that shame shall cover thee. You know why? Because it doesn't use the word guilt. You know, guilt is mostly men feel guilt. Guilt is when you feel like, damn, my actions cause pain to somebody else. That's guilt. Shame, women don't feel guilt. They don't give a shit. That's why they do abortions. You just killed a whole spirit. You killed somebody. You committed murder. It was premeditated. But you don't feel nothing about it. Bitches on Instagram, TikTok, yeah, I killed it. I took him out. Yeah, I ain't gonna have no baby. That. It's like, what's going on here, man? But the shame is what? That feeling of what? Of damn, like my image is tainted.
Don't put ad moderator.
You know, that
that makes
illusion
him
that I had of power and I could run my mouth and do these different things is gone. I've been found out. My little tactics of, yeah, I'm pretty, this and that, I can get this, I can get that. Now nobody cares. That's the shame. It's a degradation of self-image. Okay? Damn, I'm not what I thought I was. Now society has seen me for who the hell I am. I ain't shit. So now they're looking at me as who the fuck I am. I ain't shit. You see, most women can't cook. They don't have any ounce of bone of respect in them. They have no morality. They think that life is all about social media. When social media is gone and all these different, you know, treats and tricks that you got going on is all taken away from you, that's when the shame comes in, man. You don't feel guilt, you feel shame. Because your image, your self-image has been destroyed. The little secret shit is gone. Your illusion of my beauty is running things and I'm jumping off of this dude and he's paying for this and I'm flying here and I'm sleeping with this celebrity here. Like, females, regular, average, ugly bitches really think there's some hot shit because of social media. Once all that's taken away, you realize you really have no power and everything goes back to that patriarchy that the Lord started off with. Then everyone is going to be in line and back in order. When you start seeing people's heads get bashed in, regardless of gender, regardless of age, and you see that there's no mercy and people are out here bloodthirsty, walling the hell out, all right? And especially those people who got the shot. Man, that thing is going to lead to people being cannibals, man. You know, hey, we're going to go into it, you know, in a separate lesson, but we're going to bring out some stuff, man. These devils are onto some sinister shit, and you people don't know. You've been deceived, man. This whole place about to turn to a crazy world, and you women, well, look at here. You better hope and pray that the Lord got mercy on you, because if you don't, you're done. That's it. All right?
Let's hop into Jeremiah 30, and then we'll go from there. We'll come back to it.
There's a book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. Go back to verse 1. It says, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book.
Right, so that's the information and the knowledge we have now, the Lord gave that. And it was written in a book. Now, why was it written in a book? Because words, if you think about it, right, words are in the moment. When you write them down is when they last for a longer period. Because right now what we're saying, if it's not being captured there, if it's not being written down, then it's said, but then it's done. Just when the sound fades out, that's it. Only by your memory do you remember it. So the Lord said, look, I want this to go from generation to generation. Because if there's nothing to record what's being said here, what's said here only stays among us. And if something happens to us, then it's lost. So that's why the Lord said, write it down.
Because Jeremiah died, but we still got the words that he wrote.
That's right.
See? or spoke. Verse 3, it says, "For lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah."
Now, when the Lord says he's going to bring again the captivity, it doesn't mean that he's going to get the captivity and bring it back upon us. It means that he's going to take us out of captivity.
It says, bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord Yahweh, and I'll cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers.
And what land is that? That's the land of Israel. Okay, let's get Baruch 4, and you can start around the 27th verse. There's also one in Baruch, the 2nd chapter.
It says, "And they shall possess it."
Then they shall possess it. So we're going, now why does it say that he's going to bring us and we're going to possess it? Isn't it already our land? Yeah, but as the scriptures say, a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. You know, so right now we've been kicked out of our land and this devil has taken it. But when the Lord destroys them and takes us back, we're going to possess it forever. We're never going to lose that land again. Okay? 4, right around the last few verses. Yeah.
Yep. Here's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 27. "Be of good comfort, all my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you."
30.
Okay, let me just finish that.
Yeah.
It says, "For as it was your mind, to go astray from the Most High,
So we went off,
so being returned, seek him 10 times more."
and that's what we're supposed to do. That's why we tell you got to be on fire in this truth. You got to be fervent in the truth, because you're supposed to seek the Lord 10 times more. This is your comeback from your fall. All right? So you got to come back harder.
Verse 30, "Take a good heart," Baruch chapter 4, verse 30. "Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall."
Keep going.
It says, verse 32, "Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy son. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation."
Verse 36.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 36, it says, "O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High.
Right, and what's that joy? Keep going.
Lo, thy sons come."
And who are their sons? The nation of Israel. And in this time is going to start with the elect.
It says, "Whom thou sentest away, they come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One."
So pause right there. Let's go to Mark 13 and 27. Okay? Because how are we going to be gathered from the east to the west? You know, there's a question, right? How are we going to be gathered from the east to the west and taken to Jerusalem? Yep, that's basically like another year. 13:27. So in essence, when the Lord comes back, is when we're going to go back to Jerusalem. Because ain't nobody getting, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord's going to need to pull up with the chariots, deliver us, and then take us to our land. All right? When the time is right. Go ahead.
Mark chapter 13, verse 27. I'll start at 26. Mark chapter 13, verse 26. "Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds."
So when is that? In Matthew 24, it tells you immediately after the days of those tribulation. And what tribulation is that? Jacob's trouble. The time that is coming upon us right now. Go ahead.
"And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds."
So we're going to see how Shai. What did Paul say? "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up with them in the clouds, and so shall we ever be with the Lord." So we're going to see how Shai. Go ahead.
"And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven."
So that's what we're reading about here in the book of Baruch. Okay, go ahead.
It says, I'm going to read back again. Verse 37, Baruch 4, verse 37. "Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High."
There you go. Rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. So that's how we're going to end up going back to the land, and we're going to possess it. So now let's go back to Jeremiah 30.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 4. Actually, verse 3. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord Yahweh, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it.
So you know this is a future prophecy because he mentions what? Israel and Judah. This is post the divide of the kingdom. And Judah represents the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and Israel represents the northern kingdom, starting with Ephraim on down to Issachar. Go ahead.
Continue verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
So when people talking about ain't no Jacob's trouble and all of that, that's a lie. Because it's a voice that's not of peace. And the reason this is being said is because it's going to be so bad. The scriptures say the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. All right, because of how destructive and scary and trying the times are going to be.
Verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
So that time of Jacob's trouble is going to be so bad that nothing in history is ever going to compare to it. And in that time, the he that shall be saved out of it is the elect. Because they all, see, all Israel, everybody's going to go through it while we're here. All right. But in the midst of it, the Lord is going to preserve his elect. As the scriptures say, thy bread shall be sure, and there shall no evil come nigh thy habitation. Okay, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. All right. So guess in the face of famine, he shall redeem thee from death. And so the elect are going to be preserved until the return of Yahushua, and then they're going to be delivered out of here. So yes, sir.
Yeah. This is Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
There we go. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Because you have a lot of people that they first off, majority of people are not really thinking about the return of the Lord anyway, except for us. But you have some that would like, that always put that sentiment out there. You know, oh, the day the Lord comes back and the judgment day and this, that, and the third. Well, woe unto you, because judgment day is going to be a day of actual judgment. People hear judgment day and they forget about the judgment part. You know, judgment day is when the Lord comes back and then he takes the Christians up and then he leaves the rest for Satan to, and then he's going to come back and fight with the devil for 7 years. And then after that, he's going to come back again and then all this, that, and the third. But they don't understand. Judgment day is when your ass goes to the store and ain't no food there. Judgment day is when it's been 3 days and you hungry as shit. Judgment day is when your cousin just gets shot and then your brother gets shot the next day, then your mother gets shot the next day, then your father gets shot the next day.
Shit, how about the same day?
Yeah, the same day. You know? Judgment is when you lose all hope. Judgment is when your house is blown up and you don't know where to go and it's cold as shit and you got troops roaming around looking for people. Judgment is when your ass ends up in a FEMA camp and they're doing all manner of weird ass shit to you. Shoving objects in areas that they shouldn't go in. You know? That's judgment day. Go ahead.
Verse 19. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house.
Oh, wow, lion. And a lion is a ferocious animal, and so is a bear. So when you meet a lion, you're running. So you're fleeing from the face of a lion because the lion can kill you. It's a life and death situation. And then when you flee from the lion, you run right into a bear, which is another life and death situation. And then what does it say?
It says, I'll start again. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him.
So you run into a situation that's obviously dangerous, so you run away from it. And then while you're running away from it, you come across another situation that's even dangerous. And then you run away from that and hide somewhere thinking that you've escaped. And then you get caught up in another situation that's even worse. See, you might see somebody, right, coming up to you, and then you see them, they pull out a knife and they start walking towards you. You're like, oh shit. So you turn around and you start running another way, and as you're running another way, you see a whole gang of people. You know, you cut the alleyway, you cut it real quick, and you see a gang of people, and they turn around like, yo, what's up, nigga? They start walking to you. So you run from there, and then you find some house, you knocking on doors, and you finally find a door you can go into, and the lights are off. So you go in there, and then you close the door, and you're like, oh man, you catching your breath, and then you turn around, and you see a whole bunch of cannibals, you know? The lights come on, and you just see niggas that don't even look like people. They got blood on their face. And then they just turn around, and they see your ass, you know? And then they stop what they doing, and then they all turn around. Hey, how you doing? They start coming up to you. Now you're screwed. You try to open the door, it's locked. The lights come on, and you're like, where the hell am I? And then that's gonna be your death. See, you thought that the dude who was gonna shank you was gonna kill you, but you managed to escape. Then you thought the gang was gonna get you, but you managed to escape because you saw them. And then you run into the room and you ain't see them coming, you know? Because they coming in hot, you know? And they ready, man. Oh, you said you had a precept.
Oh, sorry. Can I just add something? Also, when you read it, it mentions a lion and a bear. Now, a lion and a bear is, like you said, something that animals that chase you down or like very big, overwhelming animals. But then it says when he went to the house, a serpent bit him. So when he was in security thinking that he was going to be good, something very small got him that he wasn't expecting. He thought, like you said, the lion or the bear was going to get him, like, oh shit, this is definitely going to kill me. But it didn't get him. The serpent, which was so small, is what got him.
That's right. That's right. And that's how the Lord's going to get you. He's going to get you.
Hey, man, look, the Lord is going to put a certain type of spirit in these animals that they're going to be above and beyond what you think they are. A lot of people don't even study or go into animals' nature. You know, a lot of jakes don't care about that. They care about sneakers and females and stupid shit. They don't go into nature. They don't study how animals' nature and so on and so forth are. So in an encounter with an animal, you don't even know how to maneuver because you have no understanding. The only thing that's going to strike you is fear. And when you meet an animal that's wild and you're in a fearful position, it's over. That animal is taking you down, man. Like a dog. When you pull up on a dog and the dog starts barking and doing all that shit, and you stand firm and you start approaching like, yo, my man. If you move and turn, he's chasing.
Yeah, he's gonna stop.
Yeah, he's chasing. But most people go. Guess what they're gonna do? They're running. If people hear gunshots, boom, everyone, you know, like a chase roll. They're taking flight.
And when when you turn your back, you never turn your back to like a lion or a tiger, because that's like a trigger for them to pounce.
Yep. That's how they get their prey.
Yeah.
You know, they wait. You gonna say something?
Yeah, there's a guy, some Edomite guy was doing that. He was recording it. Now, obviously, you know, Edomites, they have them as pets. But he was recording it like this behind them, and it was like,
yeah, ready, yeah.
And then almost pouncing.
And then when it got super quick within seconds, it was like, and it was like, no, I'm right here.
Yeah. And then it kind of calmed down. Yep. So even with that, you know, so these animals, like, hey, the way we grew up, we were always into animals. You know, personally till today, I love animals, man. Like till today.
Animal Planet.
Yeah, all that. So we study that. We know how the nature of animals are. And hey, the way the spirit has it, the way you love animals, you know how to treat them. You don't see them as a threat. You see them more as like a pet. You know what I'm saying? Like the natural way. No matter what the animal is, man. So animals actually love us.
Except for the crocodile. I ain't touching that shit.
You know, we be here. You got dogs that try to, like, they want to stand here. You know, like, you know, people walking with their dogs and they don't want to move and shit. You know, it just happened a few minutes ago. A dog was passing the lady, and it's like dragging. The moment it got, it was walking fine. The moment it got here, it's like there's an energy here. So it stops. Like, I don't want to go, man. Leave me alone. Like, you know. So these animals are gonna be friendly with us. Like the scripture that says that they're gonna be at peace with us. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be running to an animal in the face of a lion and shit. And people are gonna be like, oh my goodness, oh how you be able to walk and they don't do anything to you? I'm like, you want to try to see if they're gonna do something?
Well, the Lord did that for Daniel. When he was in the lions, then they didn't tear him up. But you see, they were hungry. They were so hungry when they threw the next batch in there. Before they landed, they caught them in the air. You know, if that. You know, shit.
So going back to Jeremiah 30:7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even time of Jacob's trouble, and ye shall be saved out of it." And be elect. Quick precept. There's a book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be."
So that time that links with Jeremiah 30:7. meaning that nothing that you've read or seen or heard about in history is going to compare to this time. And and the thing is, we're actually living in a time where we know this is about to happen, you know, and it's that close. We can see it, you know. Now you may say, well, how is it going to escalate, you know? Because I mean, all right, they're saying they're going around with this poke jab, whatever, you know, but you're saying that is going to lead to a time like never before in history? Black plagues, attempted genocides, you know, mass starvation, the flood, all of these things, really? Well, you're going to see, man, because the Lord is going to pick it up one by one by one.
All the wars, when you read the scriptures, it says in one day they slew 10,000 men.
Yep.
You're like, God, 10,000, where did they get, how many 10,000 men? What? You know?
Burning people, Antiochus Epiphany, you know, the 70 AD, that was horrific, that was brutal, you know? Shit.
World War I, World War II.
Yeah.
What may say, the prophecies and all these plagues already here. Like the brothers were saying, it's gonna pick up and intensify. These things don't just like that, just one day happen. Like I think there's flooding somewhere, I forgot where it was. There's gonna be more floods, there's gonna be more people dying. The reason why these things catch you like that is because you wasn't paying attention.
Right.
But the things was escalating over time, over months and over years. It's just because you wasn't paying attention that you didn't see things escalate and got to that point. So now when it's time, when you're really paying attention, now like, well, how did all this shit happen?
Yeah, that's why it says, then shall evils grow upon the face of the earth. You know,
like-
so it's growing.
It's like building blocks. You gotta start somewhere.
Esau takes that same trait from the Most High. He calls it gradualism. The Most High dwells with time, but it's a progressive thing. Seasons, days, months, weeks, and so on and so forth, man. You know?
Done. You got anything else? Yeah, you got Daniel 12.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up,
Uh-huh.
the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
Uh-huh.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time.
Even to that same time. So you're hearing the same kind of language being used. Jeremiah 30:7, Matthew 24:21, Daniel 12:1. Okay? It's all talking about Jacob's trouble. And it's gonna get so bad that ultimately we're gonna need, and when Michael's here, Yahushua is gonna be here. That's Revelation, what's that, 12:7? Okay? Because Yahushua is gonna be leading. And then 2nd Ezra 13, he's gonna be leading and everybody else is gonna be following. All right? And those that are gonna be delivered are the Israelites, but who? The elect. Because that's who Yahushua is coming for. That's who's gonna be delivered in Jeremiah 30:7, and that's who Michael's gonna stand up for. Those that are written in the book, aka the elect.
Continue in Jeremiah 30, this verse 8, it says, For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
There you go. See, so the Lord is going to break them, as the scriptures say. Micah 5, I want to say 12 verses says, Judah shall be as a young lion and tear in pieces.
Micah
5.
5.
And Amos 9, it says to overtake the reaper. Yep. Because ultimately what's getting ready to happen is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua he's gonna pretty much unleash Jake. You know? And they're gonna go, like it says, thou crouch down, y'all stoop down like an old lion, who shall rouse him up. The Lord is using these conditions with Esau, all right, and the spirit of the prophets out here to stir up Jake, you know, to stir them up and to rouse them up into that position where they're like, all right. They basically snapped, you know, and then that's when you have that Micah 5 and you have that Amos 9.
And that time is now. It's happening now. If you're paying attention, slowly but surely, you got Jake waking up. The men, they're all waking up. I seen a clip this morning of there's a school, and there was like a fight. The students were going in. It was like, I think like 40 students or something like that. 24 something. Yeah, they were going in, and then they called the police and all that. And then the heads, the fathers of the children, they're like, yo, F this. We're gonna come in there. So they band together, and they came in there to the school, and they said ever since then it's been peace, man. They all line up before everybody coming in. Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I got it.
And then they interview one of the girls. They said, "Yo, like, is it really that serious?" She said, "You don't understand." She said, "What do you fear about having men in the school watching over and stuff like that?" She said, "You don't know the power of the stare of a father." He's like, "Just that look, you already know." And they said, "Yeah." She was like, "You don't know how much powerful that is," and that's why Esau does so much in order to take the man out of the household, man. So the children could be what? Could be
Left to
delinquents.
themselves.
Yeah. You know? So when I saw that, I said, man, that's crazy. Men, so-called black men coming together to do that, they follow the lead of the prophets. Because what do you see the men of the Lord doing? We're standing up for our nation. We're standing up for our nation, man. And it's not just so-called black men. You got Latinos, Native Americans, all the 12 tribes. Okay? All the 12 tribes are banded together, and Esau is shaking in his boots, man. You know, you got so-called celebrities waking up. You know, some people are supporting Kyrie. You know, Kyrie Irving. You got Dave Chappelle. You know, what's this guy? Ice Cube. Mayweather. Kwame Brown. All these men, all of a sudden, everybody's like conscious. Like, yo, don't you see what's going on around the world? Don't y'all see what they plan to do to us? Don't you see what they're doing to the children? Why they're taking away our freedoms? All this stuff. And when you see men coming together like that, guess what's going to happen? The women are going to follow. And then the children are going to follow. And guess where they're going to all come back to? The truth. Because ultimately, all this black stuff is going to lead to what? No, we're not black. We're actually the children of Israel. That's what it's all leading to, man. If you really pay attention to prophecy and you see the current events, it's all leading to that. All right? Mayweather growing out his beard now. A couple years ago, he said he's from the tribe of Judah, the line of Judah. So they know this stuff. The NBA, all the so-called, they all know the truth, man. Yep. And now they're finally waking up. It's becoming the norm. They talk amongst themselves. Carmelo Anthony, you know, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are the true people. Mm-hmm. At some point, they're going to come together and be like, at first we were scared to talk about it because we were going to lose something.
But we're losing it anyway.
Exactly. So they're all going to come together, man. That's the spirit of the Lord is pouring on the earth. Let's read it. There's a...
What's that, Micah?
Micah, yeah.
Oh, before that, let's get this Amos, and then we'll come Micah.
Amos chapter 9, verse 13.
Because it mentioned he's going to break the band off our neck. Yeah, start it.
Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen.
So what day is that? That's now. The Lord is raising up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. So the elect are synonymous with the house of David. Because that's who the Lord is raising up, the exceeding great army. That's the house of David. That's those men that were back there, back again. They were warriors, they were prophets, they're back here again.
And close up the breaches thereof.
Meaning, once the Lord wakes up his elect and bands them together, nobody that's not supposed to be here is going to be able to get in here. Ain't going to be no breaches to creep in, no crevices and none of that.
It's a spiritual thing.
Right.
You know, if you don't have the spirit of the house of David, you can't be the house of David. You're going to be weeded out. All right?
There's going to be certain things that you just can't do.
And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old.
And he said what? He's going to build it as in the days of old. Now, also hold Zechariah 12 and 8.
All right, Ezekiel 25 and 14. I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord.
There you go. So the Lord is going to use us to execute that vengeance upon Edom and these other nations. But the Lord really got a beef with Edom. Everybody hates Edom, man. Everybody hates Esau. You damn dirty ass demons. But the Lord said he's going to raise up the house of David as in the days of old. And that's why Esau fears a lot, because he remembers what happens during the time of David. How they almost exterminated their asses, man. During the times of the kings of Israel. How they pushed them off them hills and mountains and shit. They're afraid, man. Imagine some known serial killer who just has a thing for just killing people of your family. You know, while he was there, he was just talking your nephew, your niece, your auntie. You know, that it gets closer and closer in. And next is coming. Now he done got everybody but you. Sound like some Michael Myers type shit. And when they finally raided his house, they found out all the plans that he had, and he is psycho. And then he's finally about to you find out he's about to get released in the 6 months. How you gonna feel? You think you're gonna want him to be released? You're gonna look for everything you can for them to keep him over there. Because when he gets released, you know exactly who he's coming for. Especially if you're the one who helped get his ass in there. So that's how these devils feel. They know we're about to get released, and they know what we did to them in the past. It tells you that in Revelation, the 11th chapter. So they're afraid. They don't want us to get released because they know who we coming after. Go ahead.
Zechariah chapter 12, verse 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
See, in that day, the same day that he, pretty much the time that he's rebuilding the house of David. Go ahead.
And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
So he that is feeble shall be as David, and David has spiritual power. David was bending bowls of steel. He was jumping, leaping over walls. It said the Lord made his feet like hinds feet. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that too. And you know what that means? That means he was super fast. That means his reflexes had to be supernatural, top notch, because you can't go to war and come back unscathed and you slain thousands of men.
That's why when he was Peter, he was able to take out that sword.
Yeah, real quick. Woo.
Accuracy.
Yeah, because yo, in the battlefield, because look, when you go to war, you're going against trained professionals, right? When they pick armies, they come with trained professionals, strong men. Because yo, them shields, man, you know how heavy a freaking shield is? That shit is heavy as shit, man. That's not like, yo, Captain America is doing that shit and it comes back. No, man. When they pick up the shield and they block shit, that thing is heavy, man. That's people, sometimes people, you know, if you are untrained, you got to use two hands to try and pick that shit up. So to be able to move it so fast, to block and attack and all of that, that's the training that they have to go through. So you have these men that spend their whole lives becoming warriors. And then when they finally get there, they go to the battlefield and you got one man slaying thousands of them. How fast does he have to be moving? You know, because guess what? You got your people, then you got their people. They coming at you from the front, from the side, from behind you. They're not gonna say, oh, wait, let him go first. And then, no. They trying to kill you, especially if you're the king. And they spot that's the king. Then everything gets concentrated to you. Yeah, so how fast you think he had to be moving? You know, weaving shit. Damn, man.
That takes the spirit of the Lord to be on you.
Spirit of the Lord. Yeah.
And it shows that we still have that ability, because if you watch sports like football, they say, like, especially with skill positions, like receivers and running backs, they say that we're very elusive. We're hard to catch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the feet. You know, they go, oh, then dude flipping, break his ankles, fall over there. You know, they see this guy, they stop, they step back, this guy's all the way over there. Those reflexes, man, that's because that's in our nature.
Brother put up a precept, True Awakening 777. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end, that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what's going to happen. You know, by slaughter. We're not going to give you a drink that you can drink and sleep and then pass away nicely. Hell no.
And it's not, you know, they like to spin things and stuff, you know, Esau the devil. Look, man, that stuff that the brother just read in Obadiah is written in the scriptures thousands of years ago, even before America became a thing. Now, when you look at America's history, it's all about slaughter, man. So even just that alone, if the scripture wasn't written, and just by your track record alone, you got to be judged. You got to be arrested. You got to be judged for crimes against humanity and what you're still doing till today. Mm-hmm. So just that alone, the scriptures are justified by saying that Esau is going to be slaughtered, man.
That's right.
You see? So you can't get around it. However you feel about it, however you twist it and turn it, once Yahushua makes landfall, all that talking stops.
Oh, yeah.
Your laws are done away with. Your ways of living are done away with. No politically correct. Oh my goodness, that's hate speech. Oh, that shit is done. We're moving back to how things used to be.
Yep. Reality.
Righteousness, man.
That's why he says he's going to raise it as in the days of old.
That's it.
And during the time of David, we were ruling. When you read history about the East, it tells you that there was a time where it was like a silence, like a dark period. And there was just nothing going on amongst these other nations.
They call it the first dark age.
The first dark age. But then they won't tell you who was actually ruling and why it was. But the scriptures will fill that in for you perfectly. Because we were ruling and everybody else was subject under us.
It was peaceful.
Yeah.
There was no war. You know? The moment Esau coming to power, war. Everybody popping things off.
It's Revelation 6. Because that was that's Esau. See, Yahushua is the Prince of Peace, but Esau is the son of perdition. So that's it. That's just him. Go ahead.
Sorry, I started. Zechariah 12 and 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God.
You hear that? The house of David shall be as God. So we're going to have spiritual power. We're going to be turned into a power. Okay? The house of David. Go ahead.
As the angel of the Lord before them.
So we're going to be mighty because, and Peter tells you the angels that excel in might. You know? Here, you know, I mean, I got to check that out. It's off the top. But that the Lord, the scriptures say that we're going to be as God, as the angel. You know? So we're going to have power. The scriptures say we're going to judge angels.
There's a book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. It says, whereas angels, which are greater in power and might,
There you go.
bring not railing accusation against them before the Lord.
See, so that's going to something else, but the key point is that he mentions the angels are greater in power and in might. And the house of David is going to be as the angels. Matter of fact, a little above because we're going to judge angels. You know? Yeah.
Because we're the sons of the Heavenly Father.
The first fruits, yeah. Yeah. So that's priority. You know? So now go back to Amos 9 and continue. Because now we just showed you that, like the Lord said, he's going to raise up the house of David, the ruins, and build it as in the days of old. So when he builds it up, we're going to be superpowers, man. And at that time, we ain't going to need to be politically correct. Who you going to tell to be politically correct? You know? Yo, you got to, I mean, let's talk it out. Let's be diplomatic about shit. No, we be diplomatic when we want to be diplomatic. This our shit now, you know? We not, hold on a second. Why the hell are we going to be diplomatic with a slave? No, for the first 1,000 years, the only diplomacy you're going to know is how to move that boulder from here over there. That's it. That's it. You're going to do that, and then we're going to whoop your ass, even if you do it right, and tell you to do it again.
Hey, look at how King David was moving. We want to talk about diplomacy. All right, the encounter between him and Nabal. Remember that story?
Yep.
You know, Nabal, yo, he's like, yo, bro, like, I took care of your men, the sheep, all that, made sure nothing happened to them. And all I'm here is asking for a few things, you know, water for my men to drink and stuff like that. And you want to be an asshole about it?
Shit.
Look, man, yo, strap up. Let's go kill that nigga. Oh, the Most High destroy me if by tomorrow morning all these niggas are not done. So he was ready to slay. You see, that's power. Like, look, I helped you out. Why are you being an asshole to me? All right, we're gonna settle it the right way. Yo, my men, let's go.
Well, really, that was going to be the wrong way, but,
Well,
you know, we're going to settle it like men.
That's it.
Because, you know, back then you had that high testosterone, you know, where Jake, man, you, because back then you say something, your head could come off.
That's it.
Because men were, you know, tough.
Hey, look at Abner.
Yeah.
Abner and Joab.
Joab,
You know, just a little disagreement. How do we handle it? Yo, you out of here. Just like that. I'm like, damn, that's murder, bro. You broke the law. You know, but they handled it.
Fifth rib.
Just,
You know?
just like that.
So they didn't, I mean, there wasn't something, they weren't squeamish, all right, to put it straight for you.
No, don't be judgmental.
Yeah,
You can't
judgmental.
judge. The people are being put to death easy, just like that.
Man, some dude, what was it, Shimei, who was talking shit to David, and who was it, Abishai, who asked, said, yo, let me go take his head off. You know, because why is he talking to you like that? You know, but the spirit calm, yeah, you know, but the spirit, you know, calm, told you, nah, chill out. Go ahead.
Another one, Samuel, when he had
Agag,
Yep.
yup. He ain't hesitate, you know. You think Agag was like, I'm ready to be offered, trying to be on some Paul shit? No, Agag was begging for his life. I mean, shit, he brought you here. Now, when Agag saw all those Amalekites get slain, you don't think he was afraid? Of course he was afraid. And then Saul spares his life, so he's probably like, yo, you know what I'm saying, like, shit. And then Samuel comes with a machete and shit, and he's, oh, wait, hold on.
Right.
You know, I could be of use to you. Because Esau's always trying to slither his way in there. No, wait, hold on. Wait, I promise you, if you let me live, I could be of use to you. Yeah, I could. He said,
And then you let him go, he comes back and he tries to
Yeah. Some Game of Thrones shit. He said, no, listen, bro, just chop that pieces, man. Chop them to pieces. Now, you know some of the blood must have got on him, maybe a bit on his face. Now, we mentioned this about Abraham last time, but say Samuel did that in today's day and age. What would Samuel's mugshot be like? Samuel would be on News 12 with a picture, the blue background, and then they're going to have his face. They're going to have him looking all, you know what I'm saying? They're going to have the blood on his face, you know? Psychotic, mass murdering serial killer hacks quote-unquote white man to pieces claims God told him to do so. That's what it's gonna be, you know?
You see, the funny thing is that it's not a problem until other people do it except Esau. Esau, he does this shit on the regular. That's his nature, to kill, to destroy. But he only has a problem with it when you or any other nation, especially Jake, starts feeling the nature of like, oh, you doing this to us, we're gonna do the same thing to you. Oh no, you gotta demonize that. That's what is that? You can't do that. Put him in jail. That's a crime. That's ridiculous. You know? But they go around doing the slaying every single day, but they find cunning ways to do it, so people don't really think about it like, oh damn, they're really killing people. And even if they are, they'll demonize you for speaking against it.
That's it.
You know? What kind of devil are you, man?
He deserved it. That's what they'll say.
Yeah.
Because if you deserved it, then I'm doing the world a favor by ridding, taking you off. But Agag didn't deserve it. The Lord told it. Hold on, the Most High said do it. You know. So what's the problem with that? He's a serial killer when the Most High says do it. But when you determine that this person got to go, then it's all sweet.
Right.
Since when are you the Most High? You're not.
They think they're the Most High.
Yeah. 2 Thessalonians.
Amos chapter 9 verse 12, that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this.
Keep going.
Verse 13, behold, the days come, saith the Lord.
Which that's going into the land too. All right, we're going to possess that land because I forgot what scripture it is, but it mentions that pretty much Judah, which is southern, is going to get that portion because Edom is close to Judah's borders. All right, so we're going to get that land. Because really all that is ours anyway. Oh, that's what we mean. Yeah. But there's another one too.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper.
And who are the plowmen? The workers. Okay, go ahead.
And the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all his hills shall melt.
Yeah. So ultimately, Esau's going to go down, but while he's going down, let's get that in Micah.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 5, starting at 8. It says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest.
Now remember, it's talked about Judah being that lion that crouched down. So the Lord is going to raise up that spirit in Jake. You know, even these 2/3 Jakes, you know, the Lord's going to raise up that spirit in them, and they're going to be like a young lion.
Because they're going to be tired of the injustices that's happening. You see, the Lord is starting to put that righteous spirit back in Jake. You notice a lot of people, a lot of Jakes now are starting to resort to, yo, we got to pray. The things that are happening are it's scary times. We got to start praying. We got to start going back to God. We got to seek God, you know? So when you start getting to that spirit, what automatically you're going to go back to being an Israelite. That's the spirit of the earth right now. That's the vibration, right?
Yeah, because we're like a beacon, and we're standing, and people are like, yo, there's nowhere else to go. We're backed into a corner, but that's the door right there. That's the only other alternative, because nobody else is standing up against this beast. The only one standing up against this beast as a body are the men, the prophets who are teaching the word of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So when everybody else is like, when the scriptures say that, they said that all those that don't worship the image of the beast should be killed. Guess what? They're gonna be like, well, I'd rather not be killed. What's my alternative? These men. That's the beacon, a standard, and it's gonna attract people to come there because they're gonna say, well, hey, they're standing up. They got a body. That's our last fighting effort. So shit, let's go. You know.
Psalms 110 and 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. So the Lord is putting that power on the earth. And guess what? Jake knows they're Israelites. It's common knowledge. You got regular Jakes that be like, yeah, we Israel, we the 12 tribes, we back. But they don't really have, we're the Hebrews, but they don't really have that connection yet.
Not according to full wisdom.
Boom. Yep. So they have the zeal, but not according to knowledge. Yep. So all it takes is for a little bit of chaos, a little bit of madness, and for them to see the power and the light. And guess what? They're going to gravitate. That's what Jake is all into. Gravitating into power, drama, you know? And once the Lord starts getting dramatic with the stuff, the spiritual power, the healing, Jake is gonna be like, nah, I'm an Israelite. I'm not no black nigga. I'm an Israel. I'm rocking with these men.
That's right.
These are the men of the Lord. We rocking with them. Absolutely. Like we gonna protect them. We gonna fight with them. Whatever they're doing, they're standing for the right thing. Look how crazy the world is. And you got men who are standing up. We rocking with them because now they get into their right spirit, and it's gonna be just like that. Within 1 month, a couple of weeks, Jake is just going, it's going to spread like wildfire, man. Just like that. And that's what Esau fears. So guess what? They're about to cut the lights very soon. You know what I'm saying?
Dry
Give them the
bones,
switch.
and then, like it says, the sinews, and then the flesh,
Boom.
and all of that.
Boom.
And how did that happen? By us prophesying.
Boom.
Okay, so that's what we're doing right now. We're speaking the word, and we're speaking that life into the air, into existence. And it's going by, and in the scriptures say what? You shall hear a voice behind your ear telling you, this is the way, walk ye in it. And that's why it says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. What door is that? The door of your mind. And that goes through here. Okay? So once you open that door up, the Lord is going to come in and sup with you. So you end up, and then you end up.
I wanted to bring out a point about this cartoon Invincible. You've all heard of it, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the Omni-Man, they're from like this. They have this race of these like strong people that come from different, like they come from their planet, and they take over. So I found it interesting that the author of this cartoon decided to call them Viltrumites, because like in like Israelites, Viltrumites, and also there's 144 volumes of the comic, which is a direct subliminal message that he knows Israel is going to receive spiritual power. And the Viltrumites are basically the Israelites in the cartoon. And it says that the Viltrumites are a race of warriors and planetary conquerors, which is also interesting. And their weakness, because he was talking about how Israel has to hear and stuff, their weakness, it says all Viltrumites possess delicately balanced, sensitive inner ears to accommodate their powers of flight. Basically, just like scientifically explaining like your cochlear fluid and stuff like that, which allows you to have balance to walk or I guess fly, but in the sense that the author made this invincible race of people, their weakness are their ears. So it has to do with their hearing, and it's like spiritual how he thought of that as well. He made 144 volumes, he called them Viltrumites, and he made their weakness their ears, because we have to hear this truth in order to be woken up. And it made me think of that the tumultuous noise from the heathens or something like that. And that's,
there's a scripture that says that the Lord said, I will make the ears of this people fat or heavy, that they will not hear. Because what does it say in Romans 10 and 13? How shall they hear without a preacher? How shall they believe without hearing? So you got to hear this word before you get into it. So Revelation 3 and 20 could go with that, where it says that what? Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Because you have some people that they stop the ear. They don't want to hear it. And if they don't listen, they're not going to get this word. Now, the creator, right, you got to think about it. When you create a comic or a cartoon, that's an idea, right? That's an idea that you put together and say, this is going to be the storyline. So where do they get the inspiration to come up with an idea like this to put into a storyline? Obviously, they get it from the scriptures, because how is it that all of them have that one thing in common? Dragon Ball Z, like we just mentioned, Invincible, all these shows, even in movies, America getting destroyed, movies of nuclear war, and it's always with Russia, right? Movies of alien invasion, and they always coming to America, movies of all these different, you're like, wait, that sounds like it's in the scriptures. Like, I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. Yeah, because they know it's in the scriptures. This book to them is a money-making machine. Oh, the book of Judges, let's read about Samson. Oh, Elijah, shit, let's get a bit of that. The book of Eli, why do you think it was called the book of Eli? The book of 1 Corinthians, the book of Jeremiah, and then you have the book of Eli. Eli sounds like it's short for Elijah, right? And all these different things. So when they make these stories and stuff, they get it all from the scriptures anyway. And then they like to act like, oh no, it's all fiction and shit. But yeah, they hopping on you. Them Hollywood writers and stuff, they all get it from the scriptures. Superman,
You know how many times we discuss amongst ourselves, like, damn, imagine we could actually make movies and shows and cartoons with the scriptures, like how it is to depict it accurately. But that's what we're doing spiritually. You see, we're already bringing this thing to life, by prophesying, man.
That's how the Lord wants his word to be made public. He doesn't want it to be made public through cartoons or music or all that. He wants it to be made public through us. This is how we sing the song. He wants it in a musical form, but it's this way. It doesn't sound like music, but it actually is. Because people think music has to be in the la you know. But to this is music to the Lord.
And if it's made like if it was made through like movies, that would just be entertainment to people,
There
so
you
they
go.
won't take it seriously.
That's it. Beautiful point. Beautiful point. But that's why Isaiah 58:1 says what? Cry aloud and spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Because this is how the Lord wants it to come out.
Hey, I got the word music.
That's the spirit. I was about to say somebody look up
Oh,
the word music.
I got the word. Hey, that's right here. It says a pleasing succession of sounds or combination of sounds.
Hey, we were talking about that in the car, right?
Yeah.
How words and all that is just sounds that people hear. So, what does the scripture say? A sweet savor unto life, and then you got some unto death. So we are a sweet savor unto life, unto the Lord.
Right. It says the science of combining sounds in rhythmic, melodic, and later harmonic order.
So what's the rhythm? The precepts.
Right.
You get one precept, then you get another precept, then you get another precept. Right? So it just like in the script, in music, you got the chorus, then the melody, then all the stuff. Well, in this, you got the lesson, then we got this precept, and then based on this precept, the key word is over here, so we go into the meaning of this word. Then we bring it back and tie it in with this precept.
Music, any agreeable, pleasing, and harmonious sounds.
That's the scriptures.
That's the scriptures.
Well, that's the doctrine.
That's it.
So the doctrine is a song. And it agrees because there's no part of the scriptures that contradict according to the doctrine.
It says
So real quick, the Bible is the instrument and the doctrine is the song. And we're singing this song based on the instrument. So this brother's playing this, he's playing that, and you conducting,
It says an artistic form of auditory communication incorporating instrumental or vocal tones in a structured and continuous manner.
That 2 or 3 prophesy at a time. We speak, get a precept to back it up. Speak, get a precept to back it up. Bring an example, tie it in. That's why it's a song.
That's it.
Hey, the word church is what? Ecclesias, which is to call out, right? Ecclesia to call out. And that's what we're doing. We're lifting up our voice and we're calling out. And we're singing that song.
Lift up thy voice like
a trumpet.
That's a musical.
That's a musical instrument. That's it. Read
I'll
that?
precept it. Revelation 15:3. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord Yahweh Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints.
Done. And the song of Moses, I believe it's in Deuteronomy, where it talks about it. It's basically like rejoicing over our enemies. And we are actually going to sing that song when we get delivered. That was Revelation 15, right?
Yes.
Because the second verse tells you that you had the elect that got the victory over the beast. So what do you think we're going to be doing in the heavens? You think we're just going to get beamed up and we're just going to be silent, like church mouses? Church mice, you just stand there. No, we're going to be excited. We're going to be rejoicing. We're going to be thanking the Lord. And we're going to be singing because that is going to be a victory over our enemies. And we're going to get to behold it. 1,000 at thy right hand, 10,000, so on and so forth. We're going to be watching America, the place of our captivity, the bitterness getting destroyed. In the new bodies, getting ready to come and take over the whole planet. From that day, it's all ours. The possibilities are endless. Eternity. And we know we're going to expand. We're going to start here, then we're going to expand. You're going to have servants. You're going to have women. You're going to be immortal. You're not going to second guess yourself. You're not going to doubt. You're not going to know. You're not going to not know how to do anything. You're going to know everything you need to know.
You want the precept in Deuteronomy?
Yeah.
The brother Imawan Abad, Deuteronomy 31:21. And it shall come to pass when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Israel.
So it's spiritual how it says we're not going to forget it, and that's how we're going to be able to sing it. But it was what it says before I brought them into the land. And in this time, what is the Lord going to do? When we up in the chariots before he brings us into the land, we're going to be singing that song. Because we're going to be delivered out of what? Egypt.
finish with Micah 5 and verse 8. Continuing, I'm just bringing it back. It says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver.
There you go. There you go. So, you know, when the Lord puts the spirit on Jake to really get out here, man, they're gonna be wild, man. Jake now, you know what I'm saying, they be stomping people out, you know, all that shit. But in that time, when the Lord puts the spirit on them and you have them race wars and civil wars and riots, they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna say, yo, chill. They'll kick the dude's freaking head off and shit. You know? Because it's gonna be out of a spirit that's on them, you know, and desperate times.
And Jake has a sense of loyalty to them, even in the wickedness, man. You have one dude, the cops are on him, and then his man comes and shoves the cop off, and then he books it. You know, oh his man's looking out for him. Oh, you know. But think about that in righteousness and in unity. Jake is undefeated. You can't beat Jake. That's why Esau does all this diversion tactics and divide and conquer and all these different things. You have one Jake, old ass Jake, you know, a traffic stop for whatever reason. And you got like 3 different Centurion trucks just right behind him, all surrounding the car, like, hey, what's going on? Just to see some license and registration. Like, what's the hell? What's the point of all that?
Right.
Just for one person? So they know in their minds, like, yo, you better not go there one person. You better come in as a whole team, you know. So they already know in their subconscious, in their spirit, these people they are strong. And if we want to come against them, we got to come in as a military. That's why the scripture says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, they're not going to come at us one by one. It'll be over too quick. So they're going to come in with military strength and all kinds of different things.
Nah, it's still flying.
You know, they're going to be coming in with power just to come and subdue the men of Israel, but it's not going to work. Because this time, it's not going to be on our own power, on our own volition, but of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's power.
That's right.
Okay.
And the scriptures say that they came upon me like a breaking forth of waters, you know. But the Lord said he's going to lift up that standard, that wall, you know. And you're not going to be able to break that standard, man. That's why the Lord's going to lift it up at the perfect time. See, when somebody tries to throw a punch, if you counter it correctly at the perfect time with the perfect amount of power, you can knock them out. And that's what the Lord is going to do. He's going to have it to where you standing there, but your body's going to move automatically by itself, and you're going to just clock the dude, and he's going to be knocked out. You're going to be like, I haven't fought a day in my life. I didn't know I could do that. My body just moved by itself. Yeah, because the Lord controlled you.
Psalms 18. You know, King David. Oh, you got it?
That's the spirit. And that's why King David gave that honor and glory to the Lord, because he was like, nah, that's what we doing right now. That's not of us. So we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Lord.
Psalms 18 and 32. It is the Most High that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon high places.
And the hind is super fast. Okay, so he made him real fast and agile. So not only reflexes, but speed. Man, you got King David chasing your ass on the battlefield? Shit.
Yo, you got men who got that kind of speed now. Look at Usain Bolt. These things that we always say and bring back to the scriptures, they happen now, but on a lower level. Usain Bolt runs, what, 100 meters in less than 10 seconds? The man is fast as shit. But King David could top that. You see what I'm saying? Asahel, look at Asahel.
Asahel, yeah, that dude, man.
Like, they actually spoke about his ability to run. He said he was as fast, like he got feet like a roe.
Hey, that's
like a wild
that's
roe.
where they get the idea of super speed.
Yes, Flash.
Yep.
You know, these are actual men. Imagine running the so-called natives. They had all these abilities, man.
Running with deers and all that.
Barefooted. How they able to chase down and check the senses and make sure, okay, they're right here. They'll climb up a tree and stop and wait. And then Esau be coming through with the horses and the carriages, and they'll be waiting at the top. And they just descend upon them, man. All these war tactics, where does it go back to?
Like in Assassin's Creed 3. With Connor, using Gadite. You know? I think
you know? Jake got all kinds of abilities, man. All kinds of different abilities, and they exhibit it till today. But Esau kind of manipulates it and puts it in the sports world. They don't want Jake to have those abilities in real life, so they control it in a controlled environment. And we can watch that spectator. Oh, we can spectate on this. Oh, this is amazing. LeBron James flying over there. Oh my goodness. Oh, Floyd Mayweather. Oh, look. Jake got all kinds of abilities. You want to talk about punching power? Jake got it.
Yep.
You want to talk about running speed? Jake got it. You want to talk about music? Jake got it. You want to talk about food? Jake got it. You want to talk about culture? Jake got it. Everything, Jake got it. Everyone learns from Jake, but they make it a spectacle. You know, man, they're so amazing, but we can't give them the credit. So we're gonna pay them to show us their amazing abilities, and we're just gonna sit back and watch and eat popcorn. But once the Lord turns that spirit up, and it's not just you just watching and spectating, it's actually real life shit, things are gonna change.
Yeah, because usually when people have exceptional abilities, they're exalted.
Right.
But in this society, they control that. So now you look at the person who's controlling the one with the exceptional abilities as the one on top.
Right.
See? So if he can manage to get above you in the power seat before you get there, then the highest you can go is right under him.
Right.
And then he can control you.
Right.
So that's what they did. They said, well, we're not as on point as them. But before they realize that, let's come up and show them as if, hey, they'll come up to you and say, you got a lot of talent, kid.
Yep.
You know, but if you got to work with me and I'll help you hone that talent. Yeah, I'll get you there. What he's doing is saying, let me come above you and you be the horse and you fast, but I'll be the rider. That's what they're trying to do. But we're like, no. Our power, because eventually you become dependent on them. No, now you can't do anything. Now you feel like if they're not there, you don't have your talent.
Because you're in a contract, in a bond.
There you go.
You can't break out of it. You know, look at all these athletes. Look at Kyrie and them. He's losing millions of dollars, but that's part of the contract. You got people criticizing, you got to go to work. I mean, Charles Barkley, who all of a sudden these guys all have opinions.
Yeah, right.
Like somebody care what you got to say.
This crusty ass list. Man, ain't nobody want his bald head. Look, bro, he needs to take a seat somewhere, man. You know, take a seat. And that's why we know that our power does not come from any spectating or influence of Esau, but it comes from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
That's right.
You know? So hell yeah, we'll be, you know, fools for the Lord.
That's it.
You know, we'll be the sport of the Lord, but not for Esau. First off, Esau's beneath us.
Yeah.
So that's you have to go down to go under Esau. You know? And if you want to go under the Most High, you got to go up.
That's it.
You know, and even if you go up for infinity, you'll still never be under the Most High like that. You know? But where were we at?
I want to finish.
Oh, yes.
Micah chapter 5, continue verse 9, it says, thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and and all thine enemies shall be cut off.
Shall be cut off. See? So ultimately, what's going to happen? Anybody that came, what's that in Zechariah 12 and 14 and 12? It talks about, we don't got to get it, but it talks about, this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite those that fought against Jerusalem. Okay? So the Lord's going to do away with all those that came against us. All right?
These shall I break in pieces.
Yep.
You know, so the Lord is going to use us. He said, what?
By battle axe and weapons of war.
That's it. So we are already we're warlike people. Our father is a man of war. Go back in the ancient history of Israel, it was all about war and conquering nations. Not people, nations.
Right.
Like it's a whole, like nations.
Right.
You know, and it was with authority, with force, bloodshed. And that's what the Lord is saying is about to happen in Babylon. Before the missiles hit,
That's it.
this place is going to be made desolate, man. It's going to be made a war zone. All right? That's why Esau is busy right now building cyborgs and robots and robot dogs. And what do you think they're going to use that for?
And you know they said on the dogs, the gun is remote control.
Oh, wow.
Because they're gonna be hiding somewhere safe.
Right.
And they're gonna
Bunker
be
somewhere.
and they're gonna be the ones, you know, pressing the button to fire. They ain't gonna be out here, oh shit, let me go out there and fix it and malfunction. No. You know, that's why they got them drones and they got all those things, man. Because they know it's gonna be deadly out here. You know, you step out for 1 second, that could be the last second of your life. Shit. Got it.
Isaiah chapter 41, verse 11.
Now we'll finish here.
Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded.
Mm-hmm.
They shall be as nothing. They that strive with thee shall perish.
Mm-hmm. So right now they seem like they're big. They got militaries. They control the money system. They're telling you right now that they're telling you what you can and cannot do based on whether you comply with what they say or not. They seem up, but the Lord is going to bring them down because the only reason they're able to have that power is because the Lord gave them that.
That's what I bring you down to the ground.
That's what I bring you. That's it. And He's going to make us. He's going to raise us up, okay, up above, higher than them. Because if the Lord was to look, man, It's as simple as the Lord snapping his fingers and giving us spiritual power. That's it. Esau lost the game, you know, because how are you going to enforce your stupid mandates now? If the Lord gave us spiritual power, let's just say he gave a certain group of men spiritual power. You're done. What are you going to bring?
It's over.
Armies, tanks, that's not going to do shit.
Just one.
Because they're going to use their military to try and enforce it ultimately. But if you have a power that's stronger than the military, you have multiple of that to stand up for our people, what the hell are you going to do? You ain't going to be able to do is set up your policies. But the Lord said, no, they need to have the power to set up that policy. They need to have the power to mandate this thing and then set up the MOTB after. If I give you guys that kind of power right now, you guys are going to stop that. You ain't going to, you're going to fuck up prophecy. And I can't have that happen. So you know what? Y'all going to wait. When they set it up, that's when they're going to come in like a flood. At that point, that's when I'm going to give you that, because whatever they need to do, they're going to have fulfilled it.
They came in looking for trouble and they found it.
That's it.
Jacob's trouble.
That's it. Jacob's trouble. You know, so as a matter of fact, let's finish it off with Isaiah 59 and 19. You know, because ultimately that's what's going to happen. There's going to be massive destruction going on, but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to lift up a standard. And we're counting and banking on that standard being lifted up, man. That's what everything, you know what I mean? Everything we're doing now, we're forsaking everything because we're counting on the standard being lifted by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for us.
There's a book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun.
And the sun rises in the east.
It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood.
So who's the enemy? Or the same one telling you that if you don't comply with his poke, you can't do anything. Same one that, what does it say in Deuteronomy 28? That we were going to be sold to our enemies. So when we came here on slave ships, who was it that we were sold to and sold by? Was it not the so-called white man? So what does it say there? When your enemy shall come in like a flood, which that's what they're doing. They're coming in like a flood now. A flood of mandates. Is that not what Fauci said?
Yeah, he did. It says, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him.
Not guns, okay? Not physical things, but the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So the same spirit that has given us the knowledge to understand these scriptures is going to do something through the spirit to lift up a standard. So this is going to be a spiritual power or divine intervention that's going to manifest in the physical.
A Deus ex machina.
That's right.
I got a quick precept to back that up and we close it out. Here's a book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 27. The eternal power is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them.
And there you go.
Right.
It says what? He shall thrust. So come with me. You got no. He's going to thrust your ass from before us. So that's why the angels are there. Right. You know, you try. Hey, the Lord can have a force field set around you. You just remember that video game trailer where all hell's breaking loose. There's zombies around and dude got the Dead Rising. Yeah. And he's jogging and shit. Yeah. That's how we gonna be. Because any destruction that comes close, the Lord's gonna thrust it. Whether He give you power of super strength or whatever, super speed. You know, you running around, you throwing shit, you jumping, leaping. You can leap from here up until the top of the Empire State Building.
That dream that I had, remember, a couple of years back? We were jogging.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had thrust in the thing.
Well, you threw it. You threw a tank. Yeah, he threw a tank.
In a dream, you know? Yeah. But that's all spiritual power. You know?
It came just like that.
Just like that.
You didn't know you could do it. Nope. But when you got pissed, because you was like, yo, after, and remember, it was like mandates they had set up.
It was quarantine, it was fences, people were behind quarantine, it was lockdowns, we couldn't go out. And this was before this whole shit happened.
Yep.
And we were like, yo, F this, we were jogging, you know, like in the springtime, we were jogging outside, and you got this military dude in the tank talking about, hey, you niggas, get out the street before I kill you, that type of shit. And you have people like, come on, please, we don't want to see another black man die, come on, get out the street. And my brother's like, yo, come on, man, we don't gotta, let's just leave, man. I'm like, you keep going. So we kept jogging, and the dude is like, hey, I'm not gonna say it again. If I have to say it again, I'm gonna come blow you guys up. And my brother's like, he's like, yo, we really gotta do this right now. I'm like, fuck this shit, let's keep going. So we kept going, and then the nigga just starts driving towards us. I said, man, fuck this shit. Turn around, and then just launched that shit. And it just blew up like feet back. It just blew up. And it just blew up on the internet. Everybody, oh my goodness, type of black man.
You just see the thumbnail, shirt off. You got the right here, right? You got the biceps and the triceps, and the tank is right there. He's like, you know, like throwing and shit. And they're like, yo, do you see that? And he got the thumbnail and shit. Hey, but you know, it's all the spirit of the Lord, yeah. You know, and brothers have had multiple spiritual power dreams. You know,
Psalms 18, that precept, that whole chapter.
Yep.
Last year, I remember that dream I had. I remember reading that precept. I said, yo, this is exactly what happened in my dream. They were made desolate, man, and that's when I was starting to realize, damn, spiritual power is gonna be like that, quick, easy, because the Lord, it shows you, like in the time of adversity, it's just gonna happen just like that, yeah. And you're just gonna know you're able to do these things without even thinking about it,
it's not premeditated.
No,
because like when the apostles were up in the upper chamber, the spirit just came out of nowhere and came upon them. And when Samson went and the Philistines, it says when they shouted at him, the spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him. So like out of nowhere, just boom, you know, and it was almost like he was just in that. Yo, he got so hot. It says that the bands burnt off of his hand. That's like when you watch Dragon Ball Z and Goku starts powering up and the rocks start going up and all that, because the heat is energy. Yeah. You was gonna say something?
Oh no, I was also gonna mention Mattathias. It says rains
Trembled. Yep. See now he didn't need spiritual power because the Lord wasn't going to use him to really. What the Lord was going to use him to do was to kill that dude right there, you know. But you could see in a moment like that, you know, you do some shit that you never knew you could do.
Judas Maccabees. I
Judas
mean, it's all
Maccabees,
written in our history of what the great men, the old men, the mighty men of David.
Yep.
You know, they all had,
Yep.
they all had different abilities, all spiritual power in the form.
Slaying lions.
Yeah.
That's all from the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So, in closing, what did they all have in common? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So, if we got Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, why wouldn't he bless us when he said he would? Why would he deliver us when he said he would? And the answer is he will deliver us.
Scripture says he changes not.
He changes not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. So, we ain't going to be consumed, man.
Right.
You know? So, hey, we pray every day that he speeds up these days and he brings that destruction upon this place. And we pray that he has mercy upon us and that we get delivered out of here, man. But we are ready to see the show and watch this place go down, man. Because it's circling the drain and it can't go down fast enough.
That's it.
All right, but with that, Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash. Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.